So why don't we start down on our mat? And find your magic circle. I'm going to place the circle down between the sides. Knees bent, feet flat. I'm going to put pressure down into the big toe joints. Dig your heels towards your seat a little bit. Okay. And make sure that you feel a kind of digging in towards the seat with those heels, arms reaching long on either side. Drain the abdominal wall down into the low back to squeeze the circle and inhale. Exhale to release that. Draining down, feeling as if there's an umbilical cord through the pelvis into the mat. And releasing. And inhale to squeeze, narrowing the hip bones. Exhale to release. And squeeze. Now we're going to make little pulses here going in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and hold. And release. Okay. So now let's take that circle. We're going to put it on the outside of the leg like a little hat. You can adjust your feet if you need so that your femurs are in the same line as your feet. Okay, I'm going to take an inhale to push out with the hips. Exhale to release. So as you push with the hips here, with the pelvis, try not to let your back arch. So we're still keeping that draining down through the middle while we add pressure out. And release. So it should feel like you're describing kind of donut around each hip joint. And release. Push, press, and release. Push, and exhale. Great. Okay, we're going to put the circle back on the inside of the leg. Shirts in that meaty part of your side, not on your knee joint. So go a little bit, yeah, a little bit lower. Okay. So we're going to spine that narrowing, that pulling of the umbilical, that pushing outward of the hips so that we can lift the hips up in the air with our inhale and exhale. So now if this gives you a feeling of tension in your back, don't go so high. You know, make sure that you're feeling the kind of bucket seat engage to lift from underneath, and then exhale to place the spine down long. Inhale, picking up with your bottom, trying to lengthen the back space, and release. Squeeze to lift, and then release. Nice. Okay. So you're going to take the circle out. You're going to plug the legs in. You can rock side to side a little bit. Got circles if you need. Okay. Pulling those legs in so that you start to really open up the back space underneath you. Lengthen the back of your neck. Curl the head and shoulder blades up. We're going to send the legs away. Still rounded in the low back and pump for the 100. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 10. In. Exhale. Quick inhale. Exhale. 30. Inhale. Exhale. 40. Inhale. Exhale. 50. Inhale. Exhale. 60 in. Exhale. Feeling good. We got 3 more breaths. Exhale. If you got it in you, lower those legs a little bit more. Exhale. Curl up a little bit higher. That's great. Hug those legs in. Resting your head. Great. Okay, so let's rock up to sitting. We're going to take our circle here. I'm going to put it down flat between the heels. Okay, so a little bend in the knees is always good so that we don't block out the knee joints. and also so we can get more access to the spine here. Okay. So you're gonna sit with your hips a little bit under you already, squeezing in, so finding that pulling in from your hips in order to activate the inner thigh. We're gonna round back. Just lightly hold under the thighs if you need to. Laying yourself down with control, control, control. Each vertebra one by one by one by one by one. Yep. Then reach those arms back behind you for a long, long body stretch. 2 ways. Okay, bringing your arms up to the ceiling, chin on your chest. If you need to bend, go behind the thighs. Lift the hands and peel yourself up and over. Exhale to reach out. And past the toes. Yes. And we're gonna go again. Rolling back. So this is always a nice place to grab if you feel like, oh, I'm not getting through that one spot in my back. I'm trying to get each vertebra in the sequence. Reach the arms back behind you and long. Stretch. Arms come up, head comes up. Squeeze that circle. Dig those heels in towards you. Exhale to reach out, long, long, long. And describing that donut around each hip joint. We're pushing the hips away from each other. We're narrowing the front of the hip bones together. And each last one. Arms come up, heeling up. To reach. And then roll up. Oh, good. Okay, so if you have weights, you can grab those. I'll let you use my shoes. So we're gonna hold them into the chest. We're gonna keep squeezing the circle here between the heels and bend those knees a little bit more. Yeah, if you feel like that's in your hip flexors, a little open, that's okay. Okay. So we're gonna use the stripes of the abdominals to lift yourself up tall. And then we're gonna curl the tailbone under, but keep trying to lift the rest of you up tall. We're gonna go about halfway and pause. Squeeze in on that circle more. Now we're gonna twist around with our inhale. Exhale to come back center. Twist around, around, around. If this does not feel good on your back, you can come up a little higher. You can work a little smaller. Exhale. Inhale around. Exhale. One more each way. Exhale. Hold the stomach to the side. Oh, so good. Okay. You can release forward, take a little stretch. Okay, so let's take our circle now. We're gonna hook the foot in here. Make sure that that hip is under you. Feel a little bit, dragging the heel in towards the feet. Okay, so again, we're gonna find that curl under of the hips, but the rest of the spine reaches up. So we're gonna push the leg out away and then bending in. So as much as you stretch that leg far out into the distance, how much can you pull in more deeply with the low stomach? And then push. Then push. And then we're going to point through the ankle. Pull with the arms to flex. Push to point the foot. Pull to flex. Push, push, push. And flex. Good. Okay, can we take ourselves, tip a little forward. Have the idea that you're going to try and put your forehead all the way out on your toes. A long, long, long curve. Okay, now we're going to take ourselves back. Anchor that left side, pressing your left leg down into the mat. Start to rotate the hips. Yes, and you're trying to control all the way down. Rest. And then you're going to push through that leg. Resist. Coming up and up and up and up and up and up. Yeah. And we're going to do 2 more times. So if you have places in your spine that are super stiff, Soften your knee a little bit and see if you can get the hip to go under for you. And then it's about the abdominals, and that left leg pushing, pushing, pushing down. Yeah, oh, good. Okay, one more time. Let me go back. Under. And feeling up and up and up. Lift. And then that. All right, let's try the other side. Hugging that knee in. You have a little curl of the hips, pulling the stomach back. The rest of the spine is stretching. And lift. Bend. Lift. Yeah, and you can think about the activation of pulling a thread taut on two ends. So one end of your thread is in your little stomach, and the other end is out in the heel. What does it feel like to create that pull between those two places? Push. We're going to add our ankle work here. Push into a pointed foot. Pull with the arms to flex. We're creating some resistance. But in between places, as well as get to the point and get to the flex. Good. Okay, so now we're going to go up and over, reaching that long curve of your spine. And we want to go under. Little sip of your tailbone scooping under. Turn the crank. Your hips are like a wheel, turning. Place yourself down, and then peeling back up, holding the stomach back to give you resistance. And go again. Heel under, turning the wheels of the hips. Peeling back up. Over. Just remember that the right side here has to do as much work as the left side needs to stretch. All the way down. Anchor that leg down strongly. Healing up. Find that old thread between your two points. This time lift your back. Great. Okay. Let's put the circle to the side. Let's lay down. I'll go on your back. Great. Hug one knee into your chest, the other leg long on the mat. Just give it a little exploration inside the hip joint. You got little circles if you like. Be sort of amorphous, just testing how it feels. Okay. And then let's grab underneath the thigh. And we're going to extend this leg up towards the ceiling. And let's place as we go up, flex to come in. So we can kind of floss the nerve a little bit. And in, point, and flex. Now keep the flex. And 2, 3, 4. We're going to keep the flex here. Press the palms down into the mat. A little rotation so your toes are now sticking out outside of your body. And inhale to cross up to your left shoulder. Exhale to sweep the leg around. Inhale. Exhale. Find your center line. And there should be like a very clear end to your circle. Come around and you stop. Exhale to come around. Yes, good. Reverse it. So if sweeping vigorously does not feel good on your back, then you go smaller range. And you make it come from the opposition of the thread pull. There's a little knot in the stomach, a little knot at the end of the heel. And you want to really tug at both ends. Last one. Then you crawl up the leg, give it a little extra stretch. Yes, good. And then we'll switch sides. Okay, so right leg long, left knee pulling into your chest. Let's take a little exploration first. I know for myself, my two hips are very different from each other. They have different needs, different sensations. Just to kind of like test and see how they feel today, right now. Okay, and then grabbing underneath your thigh. I'm gonna point the foot to extend, flex, point and flex. Point and flex. Point. Keep that heel flex and push and then push and then push. Last one. Push. Keep the flex. Turn the toes out a little bit. Arms are long now. Inhale to cross the body. Exhale, sweep around, find that central line. And exhale around. Of course, our goal is to keep the hips. Think of our pelvis like a boat sitting in the water. We don't want the waves to rock it side to side. So really holding the boat still in the water, no matter how vigorous this leg goes. In reverse, open, exhale around. So if you're finding like, oh, I can't really go super deep right now, that's where you find that good. Really concentrate on the pull, both directions. One more. Good, okay. Crawl up the leg, pull it through. Great. Okay, hands on the thigh, rock up to sitting. I'm gonna just watch on this one. This is the rolling like a ball. So you're gonna find your tight ball shape, trying to get those heels on the feet, trying to get your knees on the shoulders. Really spherical on the outside, the back body, trying to be hollow on the inside. Let's pick the feet up here and then take an inhale to rock yourself back and exhale to come back up. Inhale, exhale. We'll go about 6 times here. Finding that pull in, finding the over, and think about being a little roly-poly. How can each vertebra be available for this movement? Yeah. It's really about, not about doing it perfectly, but about getting contact with your back into the mat. One more there. All right, nice. Okay, so we're gonna lay ourselves back down. We're gonna hug the knees in. This is our stomach series. So we're gonna try and get through it without resting, but if you need to take rest, always feel like that's okay. You can always rest the head down, keep going with the legs. That's fine. Okay, so we're gonna curl up, head and shoulders lift up. Knees are still pulling in, heels are still trying to be on the feet. And now I'm gonna grab just one leg, come the other way, pull, change. Pull. In. So we're still in that project of trying to find the pull from the low stomach in opposition to the leg that's far away. In. Okay, then both knees in. Now we're going to stretch the whole body 2 directions. Exhale, swing your way in. Stretch 2 ways. Exhale, swim it. Inhale, exhale. The legs might have to be a little high so that you don't arch your back underneath you. You're keeping that contact of the back. Pressing into the back. Great. Legs up to the ceiling. The next one, we're going to pull, change. Pull. In. Back to our project. Thread knot in the low stomach. Thread knot in the heel. Far as it's away from us. How do we stretch, taut twist. In, and then get really nice, delicious stretch in the legs. One more each side. Woo, and rest. Okay. So, for those of you that have done this forever, you can curl up and elbows wide. If you want more back support, it's just going hands under the tailbone. We're going to take an inhale, lower those legs like a drawbridge. Exhale, hoist them up. Inhale to lower, lower, lower. Exhale. So if you have tenderness in your back today, this is going to be the hardest one to do well. You may have to limit your range here. One more time. Exhale. Okay, great. Last one, we're almost there. Hands clasping, curling up, and we're going to twist around, touch an elbow to the knee. Come up to your center and exhale. Inhale to twist around. Come back center. Twist. Center. Twist. One more each way. Find that hot thread each way, and then rest. Okay, hands to the side, rock up to sitting. Nice job. Ooh, we did it. Okay. Let's do our circle again between heels today. Let's find our weights too. My losers again. So hold on, one in each hand. Okay, we're squeezing the circle in. So we're doing that narrowing in of the umbilical cord into the low spine. We're going to pull the toes back a little bit. Soft knees are okay. Press the arms down like you're trying to get up out of the swimming pool. Then bring your chin onto your chest, and we're going to start to roly-poly the spine out, but stretching that roly-poly spine out towards your toes. Take a new breath, and you restack all the Jenga pieces of the puzzle. We'll go again in the press, chin on the chest. We'll do one more time here, this kind of slow. So I really want you to feel the sensation of each vertebra articulating. And new breath as you breath up. Nice. Settle. Okay, so now we're gonna go about twice as fast. We're gonna press. We're gonna bring the chin on the chest, come around, and we're gonna reach. Find the furthest ends of your stretch, then roll back up to the spine. And release. And again, press, lift, round and reach. You're holding those weights up if you got them. And rolling back up through the spine. And release. We're gonna do one more time. Press up out of the pool. Find your slip and slide. Belly first, slide out. Rolling back up, find all the little pieces of the puzzle. And rest. Really good. Okay. So let's put those up. Let's come to the front of the mat. Do some open leg rocker. I'll show the position, then I'll let you rock on your own. Upside down cup in the hand to hold your ankles. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so you're gonna pull those heels in. You're gonna find your floating toes. Okay, let's extend one leg out. That thread should feel really, connected. That thread. It's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy. Let's do one more, balancing each way. Yeah, if you lose it, find more stomach. And more stomach. And it's okay if the legs don't get all the way straight. Yeah, you can also hold under your thighs. You can be here. Let's try and find one leg, two legs. You can either balance here or you can try the rocking. So that looks like inhale, exhale to come up. Yeah. Yeah. It takes very little to come up, actually. Yeah, it's surprising. Let's do another one. So here we are. Inhale to go back. Exhale to come up. Good. Yes. Dropping those ribs in. Yes. Last one. And then sweet. Yes. Nice. Okay. So let's lay ourselves down on our back. And we're going to send the legs up towards the ceiling. They don't have to be all the way straight. That doesn't matter. But we'll squeeze the heels together and let the toes be a little bit apart. Okay. We're going to find that anchor of the low stomach down. I'm going to squeeze the back of the feet together and circle the legs, keeping them glued around, and then find that center. So if you remember when we did the one-legged circle, we stopped when we found the center. Same deal here. We circle, we stop in the middle, and then switch around, find center. Around. Yep. Around. This can be tiny, this can be big, wherever you have control. You want to feel like you're hanging your legs from your stomach. Yeah, and rest there. Okay, great. So, I know we're doing different things than we normally do with Svetlana, so hopefully that's okay. If you'll humor me, we're gonna do like a downward facing version of the stomach series. So if you have delicate wrists, you may want to get up on some kind of block, yeah, or be up on your fists. You can also do this leaning against the countertop, yeah, if you want to be higher up. So we're going to start on all fours. Okay, we're going to find what feels like your neutral spine. So that idea of the thread pulling two ways, we're now going to just put that in the top of the head and in the tailbone. We're going to pull both ends long. Take an inhale here to really fill up the back of the ribs. And then on your exhale, take a little cat-cow. Curl the hips under, round your spine. Inhale to come back to what feels like the pull of the thread. Exhale to lift the chest now, to open and arch the spine. And then coming back to your center. Exhale to curl. Inhale to find center. Exhale to arch the back. And coming back to center. Let's do one more time through that sequence. Rounding. And center. And arching the back. And center. Okay. Good. So, take that out if need. What I like about doing this facing downward is it helps your back body light up. So it'll help you with your glutes quite a lot. Okay, so we're gonna come out. We're gonna round our spine here. So make sure that you feel that stomach pulling up into the low back. Tuck your toes, lift your knees. From here, we're gonna push one leg out, pull it back in. Other side. Push and in. Push and in. Push. Yeah, so you're really gonna make contact with the ball of the foot as it drags out, as it drags in, yeah. And the lower you can keep your hips, the harder it's gonna be. Push. Look good. Push. And then come down for rest. Let's untuck the toes, sit back on your heels here, grab your ankles and round your spine. Okay. So let's come back out. This time we're going to find a plank position. So again, you can always be holding on to a counter or a chair if you would rather not be down on the ground. We're going to find our plank position here. Heels can be together. And we're going to take one foot and step it out and bring it back in. Other side out. And in. Out to the side and in. So we're folding the low stomach up to the back line. And center. Open and together. One more each side. One leg. And then resting there. Let's go back into full child's pose. Stretch the arms out. Lengthen the spine. Okay. So coming back to the all fours, or on your wrists, leg. So this is, we're pairing this as like some series, but this is kind of like swimming prep. Yeah. So we're gonna find that pull up of the stomach. We're gonna push opposite arm and leg out. We're gonna try and lift them up to the same line as the spine. And then come back down. Yeah, and in. And trying out the other side. So what you want to try to avoid, yes, I know it's harder than it seems, is dropping your back to lift the leg. So we're really pinning that stomach. That'll make you have to grab hamstring glute. Yes. There you go. Yeah, you found it. And reach, lift. You can think of the lift as not just a coming up to the level actually, but as a stretching out along the horizon line. One more time. And rest. All right. All right, so from here, we're gonna go to our side position. Slightly different than normal. We're gonna be up on our elbow. If that feels okay for you. Yeah, you can always go all the way down still and do this with your hip down, but if it suits you, you can lift yourself up so that your hips are pushing up. I'm gonna lift one leg up in the air and lower up. So you do want to feel like you're pushing that shoulder down into your elbow rather than letting that shoulder creep up. We're creating a lot of stability there. And then we're using that kind of idea of spreading around with the hip, the back of the hip, to lift this leg. Right out and out. And rest. Nice. Let's switch to the other side. All right. And finding that push down through your elbow, lift the hip up and stretch that leg. So we're not only kicking the leg up, we're reaching it away from the other end of it. Yeah. So we're still in that project of finding the knot in the stomach, the knot at the end of the heel. That kind of like tethering and pulling away from the tether that gives you the length in the body and the stretch as well as the strength. Two more. Woo, and then resting down. Nice. Okay, so let's lay on our backs here. We'll do a nice version of the teaser today. Okay, so you know, hug your knees in, open the low back space. If you want to do a harder version of the teaser, feel free. But now we're going to find like a tabletop with the legs and grab underneath the back of the thighs. Use that to pick the head and the shoulders up. Okay, so think about sending those elbows wide rather than the shoulders up. Yes, there you go. Okay, we're going to slowly push the legs out away and try to come up. Woo, with the body. Yes. Okay, ideally, toes, eyes are the same level. Okay, if you need to bend your knees to get that, if you can, let go, hold it for a sec. Woo. And then grab underneath the thighs again. We're going to try to reverse engineer that control. Under. Ooh, yes. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more. I need to bring the head and shoulders up. You're pushing with the legs. Remember, we're pushing away from the knot, just instead of just pushing the legs away, we're finding that opposition. Okay, a moment to balance, you can. Awesome, and then grab. Oh, I lost it there. Okay, one more time. Tabletop, hands. You're pulling with your hands to help give you that resistance of your stomach. Finding your balance at the back. And then tail has to go under. Your hips have to rotate under. Yes, that was great. That was good. Okay. Next job. Okay. So why don't we do some stuff standing? We're gonna find our circle still. This is your lunch hour. Kind of get you up on your feet and out the door. So it's okay, you can stand on your mat or on the floor, whatever works for you in your space. The mat is gonna give you a little bit more challenge for your balance. So we're gonna reach down with the circle here. We're holding with the fleshy part of our hand. We're squeezing the heels together, the toes are a little bit apart. Okay. So how much can you reach down with the arms and squeeze from your shoulder blades and then release. Squeeze. Squeeze here and then pulsing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release. Coming out in the front. Squeeze from the shoulder blades and release. And pull the wings down on the back and release. Fold those wings in. Release. Little pulses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And release. Now we're going to go above the head. You draw the shoulder blades down. There still should feel like you can have a lot of space between your earlobes, mainly earrings, what have you, and your shoulders. You're going to widen the shoulder blades here and squeeze and get taller. And release. As much as you can, try to drop the ribs downwards, like you feel that they're pointing down towards your toes. And squeeze, and then little pulses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. And that's rest. Okay, yucky one. So your arms are low. You kind of squeeze your shoulder blades together, kind of squeeze a circle. I cannot, so I need to actually grip a circle, but we're still going to use the muscles that it takes to narrow the shoulder blades and to reach the arms. And release. And reach down. Together with the shoulder blades. And get longer in your body. Squeeze, and then little pulses. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And release. Okay, bring that circle back to the front. Okay, we're gonna rise up on the heels as we pulse. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Going down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Going down. And 10, one more time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And going down. 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. Take that circle. You're gonna put it, sometimes we want to put it on our hip bone, but we're actually gonna put it a little bit in front of the body, right where your leg creases. So sort of like at an angle there. And perk up the elbow here, and then press inward with your shoulder blade. Get taller and release. Press with your shoulder blade, lift your body. Squeeze and lift. And squeeze, and let's do little pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. A little bit in the front. Okay, other arm release to your side. And squeezing in with the shoulder blade. And release. Squeezing in to lift tall. So the pulses here, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Okay, so I think this class is 45 minutes, you know?
Oh, yeah.
45, okay, sorry, I was like, okay, so let's do a little finish today. Heels together, toes apart. Reach the circle up to the ceiling. Just feel like this opens up a tube that you can fit your body through. Look out over the edge of the cliff. Start to tumble over that edge, becoming a waterfall. Each vertebra trickles down over the top of the head and rushes down into the ravine. And then we're going to climb the rope of the spine. Come back up, hand over hand. And then each vertebra is its own knot. You can pull yourself up, pull yourself up, pull yourself up. And release, and we'll go one more time. Lifting up and over the edge of the cliff to tumble, rushing down. And then we have the stakes of the legs. We're going to allow us to pull ourselves up. Finding that rope ladder of the spine. Hand over hand. Up and up and up. And then rest. All right, that's it. That's all I got. All right, thanks everyone out there.